My name is DJ Chuang, and in this video, I'll be answering the question, suicide rates among transgender and LGB communities is very high. How can society continue to allow gender fluidity and misguided acceptance of these lifestyles? Okay, first, let me unpack the question a little bit. So the suicide rate for those with uh, different sexual attractions is notably higher than the average norm of heterosexual attraction teens in particular and adults. And then the second question that was connected, how can society allow the misguided acceptance? And so the question asker is perhaps coming from a traditional sexual ethic that believes only heterosexual relationships are permitted. And let me answer the second part first, and then come back to the first part with some uh, recent statistics. So there's a wide range of people's beliefs and convictions about sexuality. And what I want to emphasize is every person is created in the image of God, and whether they have sexual desires that are one way or the other, they are still made in the image of God and deserving uh, respect and honor and being shown kindness and love for being a human being. Now, whether a person who has sexual desires that are not socially acceptable, whether that's from a religious or spiritual perspective, a theological perspective, or just a social community norm, that's a secondary issue. Primary issue here on this question is suicide is wrong. And for some from a traditional sex ethic background, they might also say that unaccepted behavior is also wrong. But two wrongs don't make a right. And I think in this situation, we would do well to prioritize preventing and reducing that suicide rate for those who have different sexual attraction and desire. So here are some statistics, and I'll add links to the description so that you can follow along with their sources. 40% of LGBTQ youth seriously considered suicide in the past year, according to one survey. Nearly 1/3, 29% of LGB youth had attempted suicide at least once in the prior year, compared to 6% of heterosexual youth. So that's more than 4 times more likely to attempt suicide for those who identify as LGBT. Another statistic, suicide is the second leading cause of death among young people, with LGBTQ youth being 4 times more likely to seriously consider suicide. Again, reiterating the 4 times more likely. And what we can do for our fellow human being is to encourage life and health to prevent death, because suicide is preventable. And here's where it connects to those of us who are Asian American. Suicide is the first leading cause of death among Asian American young adults ages 15 to 24. So not only are those who identify as LGBTQ at higher risk of suicide, those who are Asian American young adults are also at a very high rate of suicide. And so we as a community must do our best and do more to lower that health risk. And that's what these videos are addressing. Um, and I would love to be of help if you would like to partner or collaborate, because we can do more together than we can do apart.